So one of the big pieces of news this week is that PlayStation will be dropping out of E3 2020. That means that Sony will not be present, PlayStation 5 will not be present. That's a pretty big deal. And this happened last year, but it's happening once again. And it would seem as though Sony has their own plans to unveil their brand new console. This is the statement that they provided. After a thorough evaluation, SIE has decided not to participate in E3 2020. We have great respect for the ESA as an organization, but we do not feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what we are focused on this year. We will build upon our global event strategy in 2020 by participating in hundreds of consumer events across the globe. Our focus is on making sure fans feel part of the PlayStation family and have access to play their favorite content. So this just goes to show that E3 really is becoming less relevant. Now, I'm not saying that the show is dead. E3 still draws in a pretty big crowd, but it's becoming more optional as companies are realizing that they can push their own marketing campaigns with their own events that will draw just as many people, especially for bigger brands like PlayStation. ESA has in fact provided a statement on the matter, something very short and vague, and a direct address to the fact that Sony will be dropping out of E3 2020. So this right here is from the official ESA website. Here's what the ESA had to say. E3 is a signature event celebrating the video game industry and showcasing the people, brands, and innovations redefining entertainment loved by billions of people around the world. E3 2020 will be an exciting, high-energy show featuring new experiences, partners, exhibitor spaces, activations, and programming that will entertain new and veteran attendees alike. Exhibitor interest in our new activations is gaining the attention of brands that view E3 as a key opportunity to connect with video game fans around the world. So this is basically the ESA low-key saying, that's cool, whatever, we don't need Sony, we got some stuff going on too, it's all good. And, on some level, I guess they're right. Microsoft is still going to be there at the event, though their venue is going to be in a separate location. And Nintendo's going to be there, though they're not pushing for a press conference. They're doing their usual direct, but they're gonna have a booth at the event, and Sony dropping out of E3 2020 does certainly mean that competitors like Microsoft and Nintendo get a bigger spotlight, and we'll see if those two alongside all the other presenters will be able to carry this event with exciting announcements. Xbox is bound to have a major showing this year given that this is the year of next gen. They're bound to show off Xbox Series X and all it has to offer. There's rumors that Nintendo has a Switch Pro on the way, so, this might be a pretty interesting E3. Following Sony's announcement that they're dropping out of E3 2020, Phil Spencer took to Twitter to reassure fans that they're fully committed to E3 and that they have a lot to show at the event. He tweeted the following statement: "Our team is hard at work on E3. We look forward to sharing with all who love to play what's ahead of us. Our art form has consistently been propelled by the cross-section of creativity and technical progress. 2020 is a milestone year in that journey for Team Xbox." So, that's cool that we have some stuff to look forward to for E3. Say what you want about the event, but as I've previously stated, it is kind of sad to see it kind of dwindle in relevance and see companies sort of pull out, because there was this communal sense to that event, like it was the Super Bowl of video games, and seeing Sony not present at the event definitely leaves a void there. It was felt last year. I get the sense it'll be felt this year. I'm gonna miss seeing all big three together in one event, but at the same time I get why Sony is moving away, because they can just control their marketing better when they're hosting their own events and doing things their way instead of being confined to the dates that E3 offers, the venues that E3 offers. Now, going back to the ESA statement on Sony's departure from E3, one particular curiosity is this activations thing that they mentioned here, talking about how exhibitor interest in our new activations is gaining the attention of brands that view E3 as a key opportunity to connect with video game fans around the world. Nobody really knows what this activations thing is. It seems to be a new thing they're doing this year. We did hear rumblings that E3 2020 is going to see some changes. We heard sometime back in September of 2019 that there is this E3 2020 pitch going around that has the event lean more towards celebrities, consumers, and influencers, or as it says right here, fan, media, and influencer festival. And then on the topic of activation specifically, games industry highlighted right here, quote, in the ESA's proposal, marketing activations involving celebrities and influencers would become a key feature of the E3 show floor. The pitch deck included an example of the Los Angeles Lakers playing a basketball video game in front of fans and mentioned official relationships with talent agencies like CIA and UTA. If this is what activations are, if it's just going to be about celebrities and influencers and all this fluff, then I cannot say I feel particularly enthusiastic about these. And then the original article that first reported on this from Game Daily talked about how the E3 2020 pitch proposes something called the Qtainment, which essentially involves companies advertising to people while they're waiting in line and stuff like that. Basically, they're trying to boost the marketing, but not the event and what people go there for, which is the video games. Or at least that's the impression I get. Only time will tell what form these activations will take and what direction E3 2020 will take, but Sony didn't agree with the E3 2020 vision or didn't see it sort of fall in line with what they had in mind and what they wanted in order to market PlayStation 5. So they decided to drop out, and ESA is like, well, okay, whatever, we got some stuff going on here, it's all good. Now, something else that the ESA recently provided a statement on is the Doxing Controversy from back in E3 2019, when the personal information of thousands of journalists, outlets, you name it, were leaked online and made public. And this was all due to negligence. This was just E3, the organizers, leaving this document, compiling all that information up on their website for anyone to access and download very easily. And in regards to how they're going to ensure something like this doesn't happen again, here's what the ESA had to say. ESA is in partnership with outside cybersecurity experts taking steps to enhance our data protection practices for E3 registration. We have engaged a new firm to develop and build a new E3 website. To instill confidence in the new website, we plan to engage in robust testing of the new site security before its launch. And moving forward, we also will change our practices in order to collect only the minimum information necessary to complete registration of our media attendees. Doxing people is obviously a huge deal, especially when the responsible party is such a major organization as the ESA, and especially when they do it to all these journalists and attendees and influencers who are well known and who will have people stalking them, harassing them, and whatnot, and might take advantage of that personal information. It is a scary thing to be doxxed in this kind of environment, and E3 and the ESA are wholly responsible for this. I myself don't know if I'll be attending E3 this year because of this incident, whether I'll just stay home and do coverage from here, or whether I'll actually go to the event. It'll depend on how much information they ask for, because I just do not feel safe trusting them with my personal information. It does say right here that they're only going to collect the minimum information necessary. We'll see what sort of shape that ends up taking, but if they start asking for things like my address, my phone number, among other things, I'm just not going to give it to them, period. And plenty of other news outlets and journalists feel the same way. A lot of people just might not return to E3 after such a major incident, after it came to light that ESA is woefully incompetent when it comes to data management. And keep in mind that this wasn't just an E3 2019 thing. A similar flaw was found for E3 2018, where the document compiling the personal information of attending journalists and outlets and influencers was just up on the website for anyone to download. It is ridiculous. Now, when this issue was made known in August of 2019, the ESA provided the following statement back then. They said, ESA was made aware of a website vulnerability that led to the contact list of registered journalists attending E3 being made public. Let's get this out of the way. It wasn't a website vulnerability. It was just incompetence on ESA's part. It was just negligence. They just left the document up. There was no hacking involved. Somebody didn't go out of their way to seek this file. It just happened to be there for someone to just grab and take and download and distribute. The ESA continued. Once notified, we immediately took steps to protect that data and shut down the site, which is no longer available. We regret this occurrence and have put measures in place to ensure it will not occur again. They didn't really detail what those measures would be. And sure, they took down the data and shut the website down, but the data was already out there. The damage had been done. The genie couldn't be put back into the bottle. And then at a later date, the ESA provided an apology statement and a full explanation that reads as follows. The ESA was made aware yesterday of a website vulnerability on the exhibitor portal section of the E3 website. Unfortunately, a vulnerability was exploited and that list became public. We regret this happened and we're sorry. No exploitation took place. A file was simply downloaded, a file that was left up on the website by the fools over at the ESA and E3 organizers. The statement continues, we provide ESA members and exhibitors a media list on a password-protected exhibitor site so they can invite you to E3 press events, connect with you for interviews, and let you know what they are showcasing. For more than 20 years, there's never been an issue. When we found out, we took down the E3 exhibitor portal and ensured the media list was no longer available on the E3 website. Again, we apologize for the inconvenience and have already taken steps to ensure this will not happen again. They say this has never been an issue for the past 20 years. This is obviously bullshit given that it was discovered shortly thereafter that in E3 2018, there was a similar level of data leak. For E3 2020, the ESA is trying to reassure us that they've hired cybersecurity experts and whatnot, but the most important thing is that they really do ask for the minimum information necessary. Nothing that even if it were leaked, it would compromise someone's life. There are creepy people out there who will do creepy shit with that information. So if they ask for anything like that, that if it were to get out there, it would put people in danger. Attending this event just plain and simply isn't worth the danger of getting doxxed and having that information out there for potential predators to take advantage of. That whole incident was a huge breach of trust, and the ESA is going to have to do a lot of work to win that trust back, if that's even possible at this stage. But if they're really intending on asking the minimum information necessary, so nothing too personal, then that might be a step forward. We'll see what happens there. Anyway, there you have it, folks. These are the latest developments when it comes to E3 2020. This is how the ESA responded to both Sony dropping out of E3 2020 and inquiries regarding the doxing incident from a year ago. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on what the ESA had to say, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.